At Papa Murphy's, we make fresh pizza that you bake at home.
Go, Dad.
Because at home,
here we go.
Pizza means game on.
Yes!
Right now, get our signature pepperoni pizza for just $9.
Rematch?
Papa Murphy's, change the way you pizza.
You may be ready to spend more time at the store. Maybe you're ready to grab takeout, but actually dine in for once. Or ready to head back to the office, if you haven't already. At TriMet, we're ready to help you get back to the things you want and need to do in life. And we've made it easier than ever, with frequent service on popular routes, transit priority lanes for quicker trips, and fast contactless payment. Just know, we're ready when you are. Visit TriMet.org to plan your trip and see how life moves.
We're back with more of the Instigators, presented by Seneca Resorts and Casinos. Nothing else comes close.
Sabres practice continuing this hour at KeyBank Center. Jordan LaBarber's there from Sabres.com, and he joined us to assess probably the look of practice with notable absentees today. Jordan, a little surprising, obviously, for all of us on the heels of a day off for the team yesterday, not to see Rasmus Dahlin, Victor Olofsson, and JJ Peterka.
Yeah, well, we still got a week to go before opening night. We got one preseason game Saturday. So if you're going to give guys a rest, I guess now's the time to do it. And we'll hear from Don after practice to get updates, but could just be maintenance.
Jordan, I mentioned before I just started the show that all three of them are missing time could affect them in different ways. I want to zero in on JJ Peterka because I think there's an opportunity for him to make opening night roster and play a few games in Buffalo and then see what you want to do with JJ. He's only 19. What have you seen of him? And is this absence going to maybe hurt his chance to be there on Thursday night?
Well, if it's just today, I don't think so. If it's just one day absence. That said, I agree that he does have a chance. I think the team's going to be patient with the young guys. So I'd still bet on maybe him getting some time in Rochester. That said, he has a trait that the team needs, which is offensive skill. He's shown it since he arrived here. 2 goals at the Prospects Challenge, a couple goals in the preseason. And asking Don about him the other day, he said he also shows a good recognition for situations, what to do in the right moment. And that's a sign of a mature player. So to hear Don say that about him, I think bodes well for his chances.
Has he surprised? Like, is there anything about Peterka that has stood out for you that you've really enjoyed?
Honestly, it sounds obvious, but the offensive skill, I think you saw him go one-on-one with Zach Werenski, who's a pretty good player. Take the puck. Don said he saw the scoring opportunity from 100 feet out. And he took it and scored. So I think a lot of Sabres fans are excited about that potential. He'd be a fun player to watch here.
For me, it's
go ahead, Duffer.
It's just mannerisms, you know, like in a very short period of time, like without even paying particular attention, like, you know, it's Peterka. You recognize the stride, you recognize the posture, you recognize the pursuit, and, you know, being unique is a good thing when you're trying to make a name for yourself, I think.
Yeah. And the one thing that the one thing that I see out of Peterka is that he has that wide base when he skates and when he's battling one-on-one. He is lower body strong. He protects the puck well. Now, I don't want to use this and say, well, Dylan Cousins is not strong, but Dylan Cousins is a more lengthy, kind of straight up player. His skates are a little closer together. He's a little bit more finesse and skill, where JJ Peterka, I look at him and he's wide and it's like, you're not going to get me off that puck. Jaromir Jagr was wide like this, right? Jagr's legs were cement. Like, you could not move them. I think JJ has those same attributes. I want to see how that can be at the start of the NHL season.
Yeah, I agree. He just shows in flashes too. Like, you see him win some puck battles using his body. I feel like you've seen the skating lead to some chances, just him bursting down the left wing, getting behind the defense. So there's a lot to be excited about. And I know just based on social media, Sabres fans he's the guy that's catching their eye.
Who else is in the hunt as far as, you know, on the cusp to make it or not make it, in your opinion? Where is your focus here the next few days?
Well, looking at healthy forwards left, we're at 18 forwards. So you're going to carry 13 or 14. of those guys, there's 3 youngsters left that you look at. It's Quinn, Paterka, and Murray. Those are kind of last guys standing who are trying to, make that push. So I think it's going to be interesting to see whether any of them get a start here. I know Brett Murray's been a guy Don's gone out of his way to point out. He's a little different in that he's a big body. You saw him drive to the net to score his goal the other night. And then within that, there's some competition for who gets the minutes and who gets the center position. Looking today, Tage Thompson is still at center on a line with 2 guys who have played more center in the past with Asplund and Ruotsalainen. Now, looking at the ice times the other day, Tage played the most at 5-on-5, which tells me they really want to evaluate what they have in him at the position. So I wouldn't rule that out based on the fact that he's still there.
He played the most at 3-on-3 as well.
Not on his, not because he wanted to, just because he got stuck in his zone. I guess right now we're down to 2, right? Like Craig Anderson and Dustin Tokarski. How do we feel about Tokarski and what he was able to accomplish this preseason to earn himself a spot in Buffalo?
Well, I think the results speak for themselves. Don Granato said at the beginning of camp that these are Dell's and Anderson's jobs to lose. Like, he didn't have to say that. So I think Tokarski essentially stole a spot. And it's kind of the same stuff we saw last year from him when he played his first NHL games in, 4 or 5 years. Yeah. Just being solid. He only allowed 2 goals in three appearances. So I think it's just that they say he's competitive. Don likes what he sees from that standpoint. So I think it's still a job.
Tokarski 1.46 goals against in his 3 appearances with a .951 save percentage. Dell in 2 appearances, a 5.57 goals against and .838 save percentage. Again, horrifically small sample sizes, but that's the nature of the preseason and the nature of the opportunity that presents itself. What's new on the blue line, Jordan? Anything, beyond obviously Dahlin's absence is a story today, and we'll endeavor to get an update, if not on the air during Instigators, obviously on sabres.com and our social platforms. But what's the battle? Where's the battle at, in your opinion, in that group?
Well, the blue line's actually pretty close. If you count Dahlin in the healthy group, which we don't know yet, but you're at 9. So you can carry 8 defensemen, 7 or 8 defensemen. So the question is, who are the guys on the cusp? Casey Fitzgerald is the one guy who doesn't have NHL games that's still here. So the question is he making a push? He's been skating with Brandon Davidson today, a guy who was up and down last year, played in a few games. He's more of a veteran. So I think that's where your battle is. And then for ice time as well, if Dahlin slots back in, we talked about last time I was on, you have him, Butcher, Haig on the left side, can Jacob Bryson make a push there? And then when Matthias Samuelsson, who's still listed as week to week, when he comes back, how does he alter that plan too? So it's closer than the forward group to being what it will be, but there's still some room for debate.
Now, I do like Jacob Bryson. I do think he has struggled in this preseason and in this camp. So I'd like to see him maybe get an opportunity just because of what you think he can give you. And mostly because I don't think that anybody else really stood out. I don't think that Mark Pysyk has been, crazy. I don't think that Butcher has been amazing either. So I think that there's been nobody really shining so much on the blue line that I don't know if you feel the same way, Jordan, but I think maybe Bryson gets that opportunity because of what he did last year. Is that possible?
I think it is. I think the fact that he's got youth on his side, he's got, how Don talks about wanting to have young players in positions to develop. You don't learn by you learn through experience. You put players in tough positions last year. I could see him doing that again this year. I don't think it's been sorted out yet. Bryson's skating with Pysyk today. I don't know where he would be if Dahlin was on the ice. But I think if he's here, he's playing. Either that or he's in Rochester.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point, Marty and Jordan, just about kind of the sameness, if you will, from the newcomers. You didn't mention Haig, but he falls into the same category as Butcher and Pesic, in my opinion, as far as, not standing out.
I didn't want to make you mad.
Why would that make me mad? No,
because I mentioned Hag a few times in the early going of training camp, and then I stopped mentioning his name because I'm like, okay, he struggled a little, and maybe that's, I had hopes and whatever. And every time I mentioned his name, you kind of always looked at me with a smile. So I didn't want to mention him. I didn't want to put you on the spot.
I just think that to me, it's the position where you desperately need somebody to kind of step up and say, I'm a second pair guy. Like, I've earned this opportunity. And I don't think we've seen that yet, Jordan.
No, and like you said, it's a huge opportunity for a guy like, if it's not going to be the veterans, can a guy like Jacob Bryson step up and do that? And I could see him getting the opportunity.
Yeah. Marty, anything else?
Yeah, excuse me. I had this conversation with a few people around the league yesterday. Where do you think? And I know we're young at forward, and we talked about the D that has not really shown a lot. Which side of the game do you think will actually step up when the season starts? Do you think the forwards show us something we haven't seen, or do you think it's the defensive group and the system that will stand out, at least limiting the scoring chances?
Right now, I'm leaning toward the forwards. I think you could see them. One, there's some veterans up there to go with the young guys, and I think you could see them simplify their game as they play more and simply just try to generate zone time and wear teams out that way. I think that's the goal, is just being relentless on the puck. I liked what I've seen from Casey Middlestad in terms of off the ice and on the ice. He's a guy who just looks confident. Looks like last year he took ownership of his place in the league, and he just carried that into this season. So I'll say forward between those two.
Well, thank you for saying so, because it allows me to follow up on a name that we haven't dove into yet, and that is Axel Jonsson-Fjällby. What are you seeing?
Well, he's a guy, he was pretty straightforward with what he wants to do. He said, I just want to add speed to the game. He said, I'm not a power play guy. I'm trying to go out there, be good on the PK, add speed, which is what the MO is here. You're looking for players who are going to play aggressively, play with speed. Now, the thing is, you got one preseason game before you got to make some decisions here. So I expect them to have a close eye on him. Today, you had an hour of 5-on-5 drills. So I guess that's probably a good evaluative tool. I think they'll have a close eye on him over the next few days going into Detroit Saturday before we have to make some choices.
What are they doing now? They flooded, and now they are on the ice doing some small area games. What are they doing? Well,
they were doing some small area 3-on-3 when I joined. Now they are just kind of meandering around. They're done.
They're done. Okay. That's why we can hear. That's why we hear all the pucks off the glass and all that stuff happening right now.
Yeah, they're just dancing around, shooting off the boards right now.
No need to work on the shootout after a 9-round affair in Pittsburgh. Jordan, thanks for the time.
Thank you, guys.
Keeping up with the flood of news every single day can be quite stressful. There is climate change happening. There's the pandemic, labor movements, Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend. Hi, I am Gideon Resnick, host of Crooked Media's What a Day. Each week, Travelle Anderson, Priyanka Arabindi, Josie Duffy Rice, and I are going to break down the biggest news stories of the day in a way that hopefully doesn't always make you want to cry. New episodes of What a Day drop every weekday at 5 a.m. Eastern. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
At Papa Murphy's, we make fresh pizza that you bake at home.
Go, Dad.
Because at home,
Here we go.
pizza means game on.
Yes!
Right now, get our signature pepperoni pizza for just $9.
Rematch?
Papa Murphy's, change the way you pizza.
You may be ready to spend more time at the store. Maybe you're ready to grab takeout, but actually dine in for once. Or ready to head back to the office, if you haven't already. At TriMet, we're ready to help you get back to the things you want and need to do in life. And we've made it easier than ever, with frequent service on popular routes, transit priority lanes for quicker trips, and fast contactless payment. Just know, we're ready when you are. Visit TriMet.org to plan your trip and see how life moves.